Hello everyone. Hello, Hanna. It is so nice to see you here today. I am excited because we are going to talk about two of my favorite topics. We're going to talk about the global network and Jerusalem, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Exactly. So I'm very happy to be here with you. We are organizing this Jerusalem chapter launch on Tuesday. June 18th, everyone, save the date. We are going to share the link. But we were thinking with Hannah, how can we speak more about this launch and how can we explain more what's going to happen? And then we said, well, let's go on the live and let's talk more about that. And then we said, we're going to just ask ourselves questions. Hannah's going to ask me questions. I'm going to ask Hannah questions and we're going to have fun. This is going to be a short and sweet interview. And I think that Hannah, this is that you're the first one to ask questions.
Good. Yeah. And it's actually an interesting question that I think it's an interesting question because I love talking about the network, but I'm always wondering how do I really make clear what the global network is about? So that's my first question for you.
Okay, so what is the global network? So luckily I said it's going to be short and sweet, so I don't have 2 hours to talk, right?
Yeah.
So very short, very quick. The global network is a movement of Jewish women entrepreneurs who all want to be successful in their business, but also want to align with their Jewish identity and with Israel. And we know how, with everything that's happening in the past few months, I would say, since October 7th, we need that. We need to have strong women who are successful in their business and who are also leaders in the way that they are contributing or being part of the solution with the Jewish people, with Israel, and doing all that together. So we are a community today of 1,900 women in a Facebook group coming from more than 20 countries. And we are opening local chapters in different countries and different cities. Today, now we have 9 chapters with more waiting to be open. And Jerusalem is the ninth one. So we're very excited. So, in a nutshell, that is the global network.
What's the difference between a local meetup and a global meeting that we have once a month?
That's a very good question. And I think we're growing so fast and we're doing so many things that people get lost. They're like, wait, what is that? What? So I'm happy that you asked that question. The global meetup, we meet once a month on Zoom. You can come wherever you are, from whatever country you are. As long as you're a Jewish women entrepreneur, you can join. We have members, we have guests, and we network the real typical networking meetup with a presentation of your business, with breakout rooms. And the goal is to meet more people and have more exposure from all over the world. That's for the global meetup. For the local meetup, the idea is that we need also support in our business. It's good to have
Yeah.
exposure. It's good to meet people, but we also, all of us in our business, always have challenge, questions, issues, things that we need to brainstorm on. And that's what the local meetup is about: is to meet in a small group, to mastermind together, to brainstorm, and to actually have ideas and solutions coming from the collective intelligence of other Jewish women entrepreneurs who probably are going through the same as you, or we can give you a different perspective. And that's what the local meetup is about. And all this is in the global network.
On the in the global network meeting, it's mama, it's like really you get to know people, you see people from all over the world. It's very interesting to meet everybody, and I have found that the size of your business really doesn't matter. It's like you said, you're a Jewish woman, you're an entrepreneur, right? You want to support and you need to be supported. But what is the difference between networking and masterminding?
Yes. So people get confused with that as well, because people think, okay, I'm coming to the global network, I'm going to network. And I
Yeah.
actually just had a conversation with someone also who said, oh, I went to a networking meeting. And I said, what did you do? She's like, well, we spoke about our problems. They're like, well, that's not networking. That's masterminding, right? So we have to have our right definitions ahead. Networking is I'm giving you a business card, or I know about you and I can think of someone, a referral, a lead, a potential connection. I'm going to have a Zoom coffee date and we're going to connect to connect our network, our first, our second circles, so that whoever I know might be useful for you to know, and vice versa. So that's networking. And the bigger the network, the more chances we have to meet not only potential clients, potential strategic partners, potential people that we can hire, potential experts. It's not only to get a client, but really to expand our network on a global level. That's really networking. Masterminding is the opposite. It's going deep. It's really doing a deep dive. It's not length. It's not big. It's not expanding. It's really focusing. It's really understanding who am I, where am I, and what do I need. And just that question of what is my challenge, what do I need, and then sharing it with a small group of other women who each have also another issue that they want to brainstorm on, and having a hot seat of 10 minutes where I can talk about everything that's happening in my business, and having everyone brainstorm with me. Just like I often say, it's almost like a board of advisor. It's like a board of advisor of people that are here for you to give you suggestions, different perspective. And that's the difference between networking and masterminding.
Although I want to add something about what you're saying about the hot seat, because
Yes.
what I really like about the masterminding is that sometimes you yourself are not aware of exactly what your need is, what your problem is, and you can't solve the problem if you don't know what the problem is, right? And I find that the masterminding really allows you to, because you are in the hot seat, it really allows you to think out loud. And because of the questions of others, you understand, like, oh, that's where the issue is. I find that a very good process.
Exactly. And yeah, and once you, of course, like, having the right question, I think is even more than
Yeah,
50% of the
yeah,
solution, right?
yeah.
It's like focusing and really dialing in into the real problem. And you're right. Most of the time, people outside of us have a better perspective
Yeah.
of what is our problem than ourselves. And so it really is helping us each other. Like you said, you want to support and you want to be supported. So we're helping each other. We're collaborating on helping each other. So that's what masterminding is about.
I have to say that the global network meeting, even though it's not a mastermind session, because we do breakout rooms, right, where you have a chance to meet other people, it is almost like it's not a mini mastermind because it's not a mastermind, but elements of uh, listening to each other and who do I know and helping each other. That's there. That's
Yes,
definitely there. I find
yes.
it mamash is. It really is. You want to be supported, but you support also.
Exactly, exactly. And that is in the global meetup, but you don't have so much time because you have like 20 minutes
Exactly.
in the breakout room. So everyone is going to speak maybe two. You have small groups, right, of 3 people. So you get a chance to share and to talk, but it's not like the mastermind where you get a 10-minute hot seat. But
Right.
you're right, definitely part of the global meetup as well in the breakout room. So let me now ask you questions, Hanna, because you've been asking me questions. Now it's my turn. So I want to ask you, why did you decide to become a chapter leader, and specifically of the Jerusalem chapter?
There's a whole number of reasons. First of all, it kind of irked me when we were in the global network meeting, and it's like we have a chapter here, we have a chapter there, and we're in Israel. You are based in Israel. It's like, wait a second, we don't have a chapter in Jerusalem. That can't be. Okay, so
Right.
that was part of it. And there's also a bit of self-interest in there, obviously, because I am located in Jerusalem, and I find that Jerusalem I love Jerusalem, but it's also a crazy city. It's like, I always feel like you feel the tensions of the world here, and where it comes to the war now, I'm very, very, very conscious that we are like in a bubble, because in the north there's rockets falling. We don't have that here, thank goodness. But and may they all stay safe. But it is a pressure cooker.
Right.
And I feel that therefore in Jerusalem, it's important that we have each other's back and that we can talk to each other. And I find that very often, especially the people that are solopreneurs or work from home, it can be very isolating. So I think it's really important that in Jerusalem, capital of Israel, that we have a chapter. So I thought, okay, I'll become the leader. Yeah.
Okay, if you insist, I will do it.
Yeah, it's important.
It
It's
is important.
important.
So happy that you are the chapter leader of the Jerusalem chapter. I agree with you that it's so important to have a chapter in Jerusalem. I think there are a lot of women who are entrepreneurs and, like you said, who are by themselves. And we
Yeah.
need that personal. I mean, it's great to enjoy the online to reach people everywhere, but we also want to have that personal contact and that
Yeah.
physical in person, right, moment where we can really talk to someone and have that connection that we need to have. So that brings me to the next question. We have a launch happening June 18 from 10 to 12. Everyone, write down, save the date. We'll have the
Next
link.
week. Next week.
Okay,
Yes.
in a few days, really, in a few days.
Yeah.
And I would love for you, because you're the chapter leader, to explain what is going to happen during this launch of the Jerusalem chapter on June 18th.
So the launch is really a chance for people to see if, first of all, if the global network is something that they feel helps them. And it's interesting because what you just said about meeting people in person, there's somebody coming that lives in my neighborhood, and I know her from Facebook. I had no idea that she lives in my neighborhood. Okay, so that I think is a good illustration that it's really good to have a local meetup where you can meet people in person. So on Tuesday, it's mamash the launch. It's really seeing, okay, is the global network for me? Is this group for me? You will talk about the global network and you will introduce what you're doing. We will give some illustration of how masterminding works. And it's just getting to know each other. Talk about your business. What's the help that you need? What kind of business do you have? Why would you want to become part of a chapter? And I think it's also just going to be a real good chance to have some fun in getting to know each other.
Right.
You know?
Because that is really like in the beginning when the chapter, and I see it with the other chapters, right? The first local meetups are also meeting new people, but
Yeah,
then after one, two, three local meetups, people know each other
yeah,
already, and they can deep dive much faster in the business and know already. Oh
exactly.
yeah, you do this, you do that. How can I help you with this? How can I? And I can see already in Paris, for example, Karen, who has a chapter that has been going for a few months, and now they have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 members in the chapter. And now that when they meet, they don't need to introduce each other. They already know each
Yeah,
other, the
yeah,
business, right? So yeah, I love that. The launch is the one opportunity to meet everyone who is
yeah.
potentially going to become a member, to do some masterminding, and then of course it's also networking. But after a while, there will be less networking and more deep dive into the business. So
Yeah, and I think also like what you and I have been speaking about, the local chapter is the meetup is once a month, but
yes,
in between you're still there for each other.
yes,
Like a WhatsApp group
that's
where,
separate.
hey, I'm
Yes.
struggling with this, or fantastic, let's go,
I
let's do
know,
it.
but I'm seeing it in other chapters. And for example, someone says, "I have to finish this, project until tomorrow. Can you hold me accountable?" And then everyone is like, "Did you finish it? Do you need any help?" And then, what time do you want? And so it's great. So you're not alone. You
Yeah,
have someone who's going to keep you accountable. So
yeah,
I love it. I think it's great.
exactly.
And so tell me, who is coming to this launch party on Tuesday? Who is it for?
It's a very varied group of people. It was interesting because there's I think two people who are in the same type of business. I don't see that as a difficulty at all because it is a launch. It's really checking out, is this for me? Yes or no. So it's very varied. It's from photographer to coaches to people who manufacture things. It's like I'm a therapist, so it's it's broad. What we all have in common is that we're women, that we're entrepreneurs, and I think also what I think we all have in common is that we want to make a difference. Okay, because that is something that I think I can see when people and how people are answering the questions on the forum. It's all people that that want to give as much as they want to receive, and I think
Yes,
that that is a good common denominator. Yeah,
definitely, definitely, because we are a community, we are a sisterhood, and
yeah,
of course, we have to be there for each other, so that also people can be there for us when we need it. But we also have to know how to give. I
and
definitely agree.
age-wise, it's all over the place too. Okay,
Definitely,
it's
definitely.
it is seriously the common denominator: entrepreneur, female, Jewish. That's
Right.
the common denominator. Yeah,
Exactly. And I think someone asked, is it for small business, big
yeah,
business? We're not going into that. We
exactly.
actually, the answer is come and check it out. Come on Tuesday and see, because it's free. We're
Yeah,
doing it in your house. It's
yeah,
free for the first time. You'll be able to come as a guest a second time if you want to check it out before you become a member. So you really have nothing to lose, just to meet new people and see if it's for you.
yeah.
And that's that's what we said. And how what would people get out of it, of this launch, but also of the chapter in general? Like, if I come now to a local meetup, what can I expect to get out of it when I leave, after a 2-hour meetup?
The launch, what you get out of it, I think, is primarily getting to know the people, seeing what kind of group it is, out of the and just connecting to people. Okay, so it is much a launch, and I want people to get away from the launch really feeling like, yeah, this is good. This is something that this is me. This is where I want to be part of. These are people that are helpful. They are welcoming. Okay, that to me is the most important. I've been to a number. I'm an introvert. Okay. I'm an extroverted introvert, is what we always say. So I don't like stepping into groups. And I really want people, no matter if you're an extrovert or introvert or whatever vert, okay, I want people to feel like, yeah, okay, I can be myself here. This is nice. I have people that are struggling with the same, are like me. Okay, that common language. The local meetup, I think what is important there is that we really will do the masterminding. Those are the places where we're going to dive deeper, which means that yes, you're connecting to other female Jewish entrepreneurs, and I think that it should always be like, oh, this was good, and this was, in Dutch we have a term, gezellig. It was nice meeting other people and being together and sharing time together. Business wise, I think that from the local meetups, really that masterminding, knowing like, okay, even if you don't have had a chance to get full clarity on your own issue, then because of somebody else's thinking and having been asked questions, you starting to think yourself or finding answers or coming away with, hey, wait a second, oh, so that's a person I could connect to. It's that clarity and clarity on who you can talk to. That is what you can get out of that local chapter. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. I just spoke to someone who's becoming a member, who applied, and we had the interview. And she said she came to the Modi'in launch chapter, and she said, I was surprised to see how concrete and down to earth all
Yeah.
the suggestions were. That, I actually got great tips, and I got actually solutions, and I came out of the meetup with an actual direction and actual concrete, not just,
Yeah.
ideas, but very concrete tips and resources for her business. So
Yeah.
it was
It's not
interesting.
it's not a coffee date.
Right. It's not a copy date. It's something
No.
very, when you open up and you say, this is what's happening in my
Right.
business, this is what's working, because we want
Yeah.
to talk about what's working, but this is what's not working. This is the challenge that I have, the issue, the problem, the question. And then, like you said, everyone is reflecting on that together, and we get a different perspective. And that is priceless, I have to
I
say.
think
Really
so.
priceless. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. So I'm coming, you're coming, but what if someone else wants to come? How can people register? That's the question.
Both on the group where you are and on my Facebook page, Facebook page. There is a post about it. I will put it up again. I will put it up after we're done, or maybe a bit later, because I have somebody I have to work with. But there's a form there to fill out, and the form asks questions also about your business. I personally think that in the questions that are in the form, you already are, I don't want to say forced, but you're already guided to think deeper about your own business and, yeah, what is it exactly that I'm doing?
Right. Exactly. So you'll fill out the form, and then as soon as people fill out the form, they receive an email with the exact address. It's happening in your home,
Yeah,
so that's also
address, waste, directions. Yeah,
how to
yeah.
get there. And then it's from 10 to 12, right? On Tuesday,
10 to 11:30, we said.
sorry, from 10 to 11:30 on Tuesday the 18th.
Yeah,
And you'll get, as soon as you fill out the form, you'll get the email with all the information. So I think that
yeah.
we
Maybe
did
a few hours later, but you'll get it. Yeah, definitely.
of course. And I think that we did a good job talking about everything that will happen. Too long. It took us 21 minutes, so I think we're good. We're on time. Yeah. We don't like those long lives, right? We want to be clear and to the point. I'm personally looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really emotional for both of us to open a chapter in
Yeah,
Jerusalem. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. And
yeah.
yeah, so the link is there. Come join us, and let's make history in Jerusalem. That's what we do.
Yes, absolutely. Let's.
Let's. Amazing. Thank you so much, Hannah. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to we will put the link. And if you have any questions, type in the chat and tell us if you have any questions. We're here. But the best way to get answers is really just to come.
Yeah,
We'll see you there. Thank you.
great.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.